With Mario Kart World releasing tomorrow, Kosuke Ibuki, the producer behind Mario Kart World, gave an interview to Rolling Stone on June 3rd. In it, when asked about 200cc and whether it'll be in the game or not, he really didn't give a straight answer, basically saying that he can't say anything about adding engine classes above 150. So not really a no nor a yes. And Nintendo is known to try and hide things from demos, such as the Special Cup and the new Rainbow Road. And during the demos for Tears of the Kingdom, they actually didn't show the underground section at all. But regardless, Nintendo really doesn't show everything during demos, and especially with how tight-lipped they've been about the game for the most part, like 200cc just being not mentioned in public sphere sort of makes sense. And this could be cope, but I could see 200cc being a mode you have to unlock, maybe after getting gold in all the cups in Grand Prix and 150cc. I just think it's a weird choice not to include it day one. However, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for Nintendo, because Base 8 and Tour actually added the mode months into release. However, with Base 8, that was the first time they actually introduced 200cc into the series, so I could give that a pass. And Tour is just a really weird game in general, but I'm not really sure about live home circuit. I didn't even know that was a thing, nor that 200cc was in it, but that's cool. Regardless, if we don't get it on launch, it'll be included in a free update. I just don't see a reality in where 200cc will not be added to a Mario Kart game. And I definitely don't see a reality in where they require you to pay money to unlock 200cc in Mario Kart World. Although you did have to pay a monthly subscription to play it in Mario Kart Tour, which is just Mr. Krabs level of greed. For the majority of the player base, the exclusion of 200cc isn't that big of a deal, especially since it was rare to get while playing online in 8 Deluxe, and most of the maps in that game were absolutely not made with 200cc in mind, so I can see why people don't like it. But me personally, I love 200cc. It just made the game so much more fun to play, and it unlocked new shortcuts and strats that wouldn't be possible in 150cc. However, even if you hate 200cc, the idea of having less content on launch, especially when the game costs 80 United States dollars, really should be cause of some concern. Honestly, 200cc would have made the knockout intermission sequences or the one where you have to drive to the other part of the map a lot more fun and chaotic. And while on the topic of chaos, in the Rolling Stone interview, there's a section called Balancing the Chaos. Ibuki talks about how since we have double the players, or 24, they can't just widen the roads and call it a day. It requires them to think about things like item balance, for example. Imagine the added 200cc and someone gets a golden mushroom in 16th, and they manage to get, say, 5th by cutting off a huge chunk of off-road. People would just hang in the back and pull speed items. They also have to take into consideration how much speed you lose if you collide with someone versus being hit by a star. And since there are different builds, different characters with different stats, even though we don't have as much customization as we did in Mario Kart 7, Base 8, and Deluxe, it's still something developers actually have to code in and really think about when developing the game. And while for the most part the courses are larger, there are certainly maps in World that are not made for 200cc. Some examples I can think of are SNES Mario Bros. Circuit, Salty Speedway, and especially Sky is Sunday. And if gameplay footage has shown us, there's a lot of branching paths, twists, and turns you have to make at the last second. With 200cc, you'll be chipping the paint of your car in record time. And while we do have around 30 courses in base World, you can actually tackle them from a whole bunch of different angles and different routes. And really, each route is probably going to be a different experience, though not by much. And with them having to play test that in 150, then potentially 200cc, which in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was actually 415cc. Even though it said with 200, it was actually 400cc, which is why 200cc felt way faster than it should. Ibuki mentions how the game was made with 150cc as a standard, and it honestly makes sense, as that's the engine class majority of the player base are comfortable with. And with 24 players, that's double the chaos, and I think most players will be fed in that regard. With all of that said, I can see why they might be hesitant on adding 200cc to World, at least right away. Maybe they'll need time to see how players are reacting to the base experience and see what adjustments they need to make before adding 200. Because if Deluxe was any indicator, and especially near end of support, we'll be getting character and vehicle adjustments. Heck, I could see us getting a ton of adjustments and just a ton of content in terms of free updates. Nintendo are probably going to treat World like a live service game, or as close to one as possible anyways. However, I think with time, 200cc could be a great way of experiencing Mario Kart World, especially during free roam. I could see people being a lot more receptive with 200cc in this game due to how wide and open it is. So it's a shame we could potentially not get it at launch. So I really hope it's unlockable in the game, because that would help slightly ease tensions players have been having with World ever since it got announced.